video, I'm going to be sharing with you the ABCs of reality shifting. I'm going to show you a mantra that if you begin to apply in your life will totally transform your life. Welcome back to another video. My name's Aaron and I help people expand their consciousness. Now in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you the ABCs of reality shifting, understanding that this process of manifestation is so much easier than you can imagine. We normally think the stereotypical way of looking at the law of attraction is that I'm over here, I want that over there, and the more we say I really, really want that, the more we are energetically saying I really, really don't currently have it because it's over there. And the key to this is understanding that when we're shifting, it's such an easier process because we don't have to attract that from over here to here. It's more so about understanding that we're already shifting, so we can just instead align with the vibrational frequency of that reality and we will get that result. So just to kind of give this a basis, maybe you've heard me kind of share this before when it comes to reality shifting, but for this process, think of it as a film projector strip. The idea is that we have a film projector, we have a strip that we can stretch out, and we can look at individual frames that are on that of the film strip. And each individual frame is a totally separate parallel reality. It may look very similar to the one before, but it is actually a completely different parallel reality. And we know that because you can see that there's a minute amount of change in between them. It might be like this, and then like this, and then this, and then this. However, those are totally separate frames. Now we know that they all exist at the same time, but the key is knowing that because they exist at the same time, we can begin to just choose the frame we want to experience and start to align our vibration to it. So that is the key to this video, is understanding how we can align with the vibrational frequency of the best version of you. Now, before we get into the ABCs of it, the first thing you need to do is just to identify the best possible version of you. Identify the kind of lifestyle you'd be living. What kind of things would you do day in and day out? How would you interact with other people? What would your body language be like? These are all things to pay attention to because our vibration is a combination of how we think, how we feel, and what we do, how we act. So think, feel, act. These three things make up our vibration, and if we look at these individual frames, which means the best possible case scenario of what you can imagine, knowing that that parallel reality already exists, imagine what you would be doing. Imagine the kind of thoughts you would be thinking. Imagine the kind of emotions you'd be feeling. As you're able to tap into what that is, the most important part of it is paying attention to your passion. Make sure it's connected to your heart, because sometimes people will say, oh, I want to create a certain type of thing in my life, and because they're focused on that thing, it's in a way bypassing the actual energy state. The energy state's what's important here. It's the vibration of the feeling. And if you're tapped into your passion, then you're already doing it. A nice house, a nice relationship, a nice car, those are all side effects of you doing your passion. So first off, make sure that this frame that you look at, the one that you can imagine, make sure that this frame you can imagine is that of something that is connected to your passion, something that is connected to your heart. Because by you tapping into the connection of your heart, that is going to be something that actually is fulfilling as well. Because if you go for just the side effects, there's also, remember this as well, it's not about what can you attract or what can you create, it's about who can you become. We always get in life a reflection of who we are. So if we are feeling like we're not worthy of having a certain type of thing, then what will happen is we will create the lack of it. Because who we are is in alignment with it. I've shared this story many times before, so I'm sure it sounds like a little bit of a broken record, but I used to work a 9-to-5 job I wasn't passionate about. Then I decided that I was going to go full-time on YouTube, so I started making daily videos on YouTube. It wasn't so much the daily videos that allowed me to go full-time on YouTube, even though that was a huge catalyst. It was the person I became in the process. Because now, if there's anything I want to create in my life, I know that because I can apply what I've learned with YouTube, I can apply that towards anything. So now I'm applying it towards Instagram. I'm applying it towards other things, towards speaking events. These are all things that I'm beginning to tap into. So the key to this is being aware of the passionate vibration of you doing what you love. And if you don't know what that is, all you got to do is set an intention. A lot of times people say, oh, I don't know what my passion is. Set the intention, figure it out. If you set the intention, you will start to see signs as to what that could be. Your higher mind will literally give you evidence of what it could be. And as you start to identify what it could be, you can then let that build. You'll see more and more of a reflection. And then as you start to figure it out, you can even refine it even more. Set the intention. Intention is just you literally think, I intend ... I intend to find my passion. This is who I am. So, for this, understand that as well, when it comes to the law of attraction, when it comes to parallel reality shifting, which they're both powerful processes, it is something that is a natural byproduct of the way reality works. When you look at parallel reality shifting, you don't necessarily have to learn how to shift, because shifting is constantly happening whether you're aware of it or not. Some people may create the same experiences over and over and over again, but they're still shifting. And in the same way, people may attract the same things day in and day out because they're constantly thinking the same way, feeling the same emotions, and doing the same actions. However, when you look at this, you can then see that if you want to experience more, the key is to go beyond that. It is to make a choice to become more than you currently are. And understand that you are an infinite spiritual being having a temporary human experience. So you'll never actually grasp and become the full potential of who you are, because your potential is unlimited. So be aware of that as well with this process. But in general, you are always shifting from parallel reality to parallel reality, whether you're aware of it or not. Because any little minute change is a totally separate change. So the key is being aware of that change. And in the awareness of it, you can then consciously direct it. If you're unaware of it, then you think it's just victim of circumstance. How do you view reality itself? Do you view reality as you are a victim of things that are happening? Because if so, it'll keep you locked into a parallel reality track where that is the case for you, rather than being able to shift your perspective or to shift your mindset. That's when you can begin to really go in the direction of what you want. So, for understanding the ABCs of parallel reality shifting, there's this little mantra that I think you will easily remember. And I'm going to explain this mantra. I'm going to tell you what it is. I'm going to explain it. And you can then see how you can apply it in your own life. Because you can apply this towards literally everything. Here is the ABCs of parallel reality shifting. Always be choosing. Always be choosing. ABC. Always be choosing. Always means that you're just simply aware that reality is already there as far as the parallel reality tracks you want to experience. It already exists. Always just also means see everything that you do as a choice. Everything is a choice. Some of the choices we have are on autopilot, meaning we've thought that choice in the past, therefore it's easier for us to make, but understand that you can shift just in the same way that you can be aware of that choice. You can choose to shift to a new choice. But if you don't see it as a choice because it's locked into the subconscious or it's something that's on autopilot, then you'll continue to create that experience over and over and over again. So the key for this process is being aware that first off, everything you experience in your life is a choice. And when it says always be, it's not just be as in just be. It goes a little bit deeper. Always be as in being. Being, B-E-I-N-G, being, who are you being? In the same way, always be present to the moment, because the only place that you can shift parallel realities is right here and right now. Now is all that exists. And all the individual frames that we're talking about, they all exist right now. It's simply about identifying the one that you quote unquote want to experience and giving yourself permission to feel those emotions now, because those emotions already exist within you. Sometimes we look outside of ourselves. We say, oh, well, when it comes to changing how I think, feel, and act, well, I need to find those feelings outside of myself. Those feelings are within you. You may just be giving someone permission. You may be in your mind saying a certain rule that when somebody does something or lives up to your certain expectations, then you'll feel a certain way. When you have a certain number of money in your bank account, then you'll feel a certain way. That's a rule in the mind. And you are the one that can change those rules or just let go of the rules that no longer serve. That's an option that you have. And you can do that right now by being aware of what those rules are. Is there a rule that says you can only be happy when X, Y, Z happens? If so, look at it, be aware of it, and then decide to let it go. Now, choice. Everything in our life is choice. You may say, well, I didn't choose my parents. I didn't choose this. I didn't choose all this other stuff. At a certain level of consciousness, you did choose your parents. You may just not remember it. At a certain point, maybe your parents told you something growing up that made you feel not confident, and you think, oh, I didn't choose that. They told me that. At a subconscious level, you chose and you agreed to that reality, whether you're aware of it or not. But the key is being aware that, yes, maybe in the past there was this autopilot mind of a certain way you think, feel, and act. These three things make up your vibration, and your reality isn't equal to that vibration that you're putting out. But what you can begin to do is realize that because you've chosen it in the past, maybe even unconsciously, you can then choose something new. You don't have to keep living out that same way of being. Remember, always be. Be present to the moment. Focus and go beyond that. Go beyond that of the intellectual ideas of how can you change your beliefs? How can you do this? How can you do that? Be authentic to who you are. Go within your own heart space. Because as you do that, you bring more of your energy into the present moment as well. When you are existing in a state of presence, that's where it increases the probability of you experiencing that dream reality. Knowing the dream reality already exists is simply about vibrational frequency. So just be aware of it. And as you're aware of it, you start to gain your power back. But the key to this video, the thing that I really think can help you make a shift within yourself, is understanding that everything you do in your life at a certain level is a choice. And if you see everything as a choice, you start to take your power back. Only in believing that things are happening to you do you remain in the victim mode, and do things continue to happen in that pattern of things happening to you. You have the ability to direct your thoughts in a powerful way, because you are powerful and your potential is unlimited. And the key is being more of that version of you. That is doing your passion. Remember, the key to this is feeling the emotion of the passion right now in the present moment. What is connected to your heart? Me, it's filming videos. It's traveling the world and speaking in front of people. It's going around and meeting people in different cities. It's all of these different things. This is what I'm passionate about. This is who I am. And I identify that version of me, and I choose to feel the emotions now. And I know that it's a choice. It's a choice for me to be in that way, for me to live the kind of way that I prefer. It's all a choice. So treat everything in your life as if you chose it, and your life will begin to transform. The key is in the choice, the power to choose. Anytime you make a new choice, you put yourself on a different reality stream, a different reality timeline. Your choices, the actions you take, the choices as to what things mean to you, the emotions that you're feeling, the thoughts that you're thinking, these are all choices that you make. So be aware of what those choices are. And as you're aware of what those choices are, you can then put it in the direction that you want, rather than being at the victim of circumstance. A lot of this is about direction of the thoughts, emotions, and actions, and aligning it with the best possible version of you, with the awareness that that version of you already exists. It's simply about vibrational frequency, and the more you tap into that, the more you begin to bring more of your energy into the present moment right now. Remember, always be choosing. Always be Be present to the moment. Be who you naturally are. Choosing the things of what they mean to you. Choosing the actions you're taking. Choosing the thoughts you're thinking. See everything as a choice and your life will begin to transform. You can say this mantra to remind you who you are, to remind you that you're always choosing, to remind you that the choices you make are determining which path you are on. And as you do that, you'll find that your life begins to change in a very, very powerful way. So, something else I'll be doing, and something else I have for you, is one of the most powerful meditations that I've ever made is for shifting parallel realities. If you read the top of the comments in there, you'll see what's possible for you with it. I recommend you listen to it for 21 days, and if you do, I think it'll absolutely transform your life. It'll be in the top of the description box below. Also, I'll be doing more live Q&As on Instagram. I've been doing live Q&As almost every single day. Plus, I do stories, and I also post twice daily there. If you want to follow me on Instagram, you can do so right here. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to like this video if you liked it. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the little notification gear so that you can see the daily vids that I do. And other than that, as always, peace, much love, and namaste.